mentioned it, Alex. E3, it's back.
What? Shut
E3
up. What?
2021 has now been confirmed as a free digital show running from June 12th to June 15th and will feature a number of publishers. But Sony, once again, will not show up for the third year in a row. The
Oh.
confirmed publishers and developers for the event include Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, WB Games, and Koch Media. The ESA will also be working with media to amplify the content, which might suggest that media-only days will return alongside individual publication showcases of games. I mean, I'm happy for this in a sense of last year. Obviously, it was the first time we were in lockdown. It's nice to know that we're gonna have everything condensed into like a week, so we can just really process all that news. I mean, it's not a surprise. Sony hasn't been at E3 for a while,
Yeah.
but I mean, how do you feel that obviously you've got E3 back and everything's back in one go?
I just think this is. I guess they're going to be missing the party, aren't they? Unless
Mm.
we're missing the party, but I also think it's a really good move for them to do. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned the numerous developer studios which are back now, including Nintendo, who, as we know, they left E3, wasn't it, in
Well,
2013?
they've been at Nintendo on the show floor in some presence
Yeah,
or another, but they usually only take like one game. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So,
So like if you remember like when Breath of the Wild was coming out, the whole thing was just Breath of the
yeah,
Wild. It was just hundreds and hundreds of Breath of the Wild.
yeah, that
So,
was it.
but
And it felt like,
obviously it's different
mm,
this year because obviously there is no way for people to play a game in a physical format. So who knows? It's a big thing from Nintendo. Maybe Nintendo will just do their direct through E3. And I think, a lot of Nintendo fans have been pissed off with Nintendo Directs recently because I thought Nintendo got their shoes under the table, got a bit comfortable with the directs, but now Nintendo fans are saying, nah, 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 you didn't give us what we wanted, right? On that last direct, maybe you want Breath of the Wild 2 information.
they
Well, you're not
do.
having it. So I
Yeah.
think Nintendo need to redeem, and they're
No,
like, right, we're going to go to E3 and we're going to blow people away. So,
they definitely are, and I think that's what they're definitely going to do this year. But I think Sony, obviously, I mean, they're not really looking at Nintendo. They know that Nintendo's pretty much smashed this year, but their main competition is Xbox, and I think that it's a lot. It's all about controlling the narrative, isn't it?
mm,
And Xbox has got a lot to prove right now because obviously they stumbled out the gates on release last November, and it's time for them to trying to show their worth. Really, you know what I mean? It's not only to
it's
um,
huge for them as well,
business.
dude, because it's Halo summer.
It
It's
is.
the last big
It's
E3 before
Halo,
Halo,
exactly.
isn't it?
You know?
So,
Yeah, and to the gamers, isn't it? The gamers want to know exactly why is it worth, what's the point in getting Game Pass? You know what I mean? So Xbox needs to just come full force and blow everybody else out the water. That's all they need to do. And I think Sony would be good there. I mean, obviously they've got a lot of AAA heavy hitter games, but we kind of know what they're going to be bringing to the table. With Xbox, it's a bit of a unknown. So I think it's a good idea for Sony just bow out for a bit and just see exactly
mm.
what happens. And I think we will definitely see them back at E3 maybe in a couple of years' time, maybe. You know what I mean? When they've actually got something physical to showcase to the
Well,
world.
it's
And
definitely to
it's
do with
VR
money.
too.
It's
Yeah.
definitely to do with money, and I don't think Sony like the way the ESA are doing things. They are just ridiculous in terms of money and pricing, and that's why Sony pulled out, saying, "Look, we'll still support you in a sense of being on the show floor. We're just not doing a press conference or anything there." And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you will see a summer showcase from Sony. You got to remember, no matter what Microsoft show, the two things we know we're definitely going to get is proper Gran Turismo 7 gameplay to see where the game is at now, as well
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West gameplay, potentially God of War Ragnarok gameplay, not to mention whatever's been
Yeah.
unannounced so far. And
Yeah.
Alex is praying for that Last of Us 2 remaster. So
It's
we'll see
coming,
what
man. Fingers
happens.
crossed, it's definitely coming.
We'll see what happens, but exciting time, listeners. And if no matter what happens, me and Alex will be in full overdrive over E3 week and get you
Oh
as
yeah.
much content as we can out. But move on to number three, Alex.